Oh, Sky Squad, we are back in the building, and look who showed up today.
Hello.
Listen, y'all, she's gonna give us the real on what's going on in her life, what's going on in her business. But before we dive into that, let's celebrate something, okay? Because we got a new candle collection, okay? Madani Reignite. Hit that reignition button, baby. Um,
Yes.
listen. What inspired this candle line, and is it something that they can also purchase when they visit MadonniBeauty.com?
They absolutely can purchase it at MadonniBeauty.com. I have it's available right now, but I haven't went live because I'm going to take everything else away. You can still
Okay.
shop at the online beauty supply store, but I'm going to make that the central focus by the end of this month. But that's just it. But yeah, you can shop with me at MadonniBeauty.com for my candle, Madani Reignite. And as you see the candle, it looks like when it's apart, it's broken.
Mm-hmm.
So I purposely had this made, and I said that I wanted to have a candle that would show me putting my broken pieces back together and reigniting my flame. So that's where
Wow.
this came from.
Okay, come on, reignite the flame. You talk about broken pieces. Like, let's really dive into it. What do you feel like? I mean, because we've talked to you before on the channel, and we've seen you obviously on the show. Tell us about what are the broken pieces that we're looking at?
Going through a divorce, being a single mom, just experiencing so much grief and loss in a short period of time. Friendships, people don't talk about the reality of when friendships are end, it affects your life. It's a grief process as well. So I just really am, I didn't like myself in some of the season last season. I was really broken, hurt, angry, all of that. So now that I'm in a space of healing, and now that I can see myself and see what I've experienced and kind of put the pieces together, understand what that was and what I was really dealing with through therapy and life coaching as well. Because reality TV is not easy. It's not easy. Okay.
I only laugh because I know I did it. I understand. I ain't have to deal with it like y'all did, because y'all got castmates. I ain't had no castmates, but I can only imagine.
Yes. So yeah, what I tell people that say they can only imagine, double that by 10. Double that by 10. But with all that being said, and then just really wanting to motivate other women that may have experienced divorce. I've talked about just various aspects of life. Like, I was looking for myself, trying to get back to being that girl I was before all of this, and hot girl summer and all that. And I'm like, that ain't even me no more. Like, I'm a whole nother woman.
I was just about to tell you, I think for anybody that's ever been through a dark storm, right? We always think about who we used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And we are so desperate to get back there
And be
and
lost looking for somebody that don't even exist anymore.
boom, that part right there. And that's such a self-discovery journey, and it doesn't really hit you until you are kind of like able to really look back at yourself, I guess, in the way that you're doing, and you realize I will never be that person again. That those moments are gone, and now I am something and someone else. And let me embrace what that is at this moment in time.
100%. 1,000,000%.
Before I get to who you are today, let's circle back for a little bit, right? You talked about you looking back at yourself and not necessarily maybe agreeing with certain aspects of what you saw. Do you think, or do you see why other people called you aggressive? A. Do you think that you were aggressive? B. And do you think that there's anything wrong with being aggressive?
So to answer all of those questions, A, B, C, and 3, I feel like there were moments of me being a human being. I think I was having a human experience that was played out on television with conflict and sometimes no resolution. And resolution. So I really feel like, for a person, especially a Black woman, to get that stigma, it is really unfair. It's really unfair. And I feel like we fight so hard to get away from that. And then when it's thrown out there from another Black woman, it's like, come on, sis. Like, I mean, I fix crowns and knock them off heads, but that's one thing, I felt like it. Because when we are put in a position, like I said, but before I stepped into a reality TV and all the things that I've done in my life, I was a corporate executive. I was the first African-American woman. A lot of my therapist says, you're a lot of first, but first African-American woman to be in a sales executive position for my company prior to. So, of course I'm dealing with all Caucasian men, and that stigma is when you're in a position, or when you move in a position of power, and you're assertive and you speak your mind, and then you become aggressive. But I used to say in meetings, I'm like, I wouldn't be aggressive if I was a man. I would just be an assertive, forthcoming man. But because I'm a woman, it's aggressive. But I mean, where I come from, and Detroit is not for the faint of heart. I was reared there and spent my summers there, and so I'm in the South, but I'm still a Midwest Southern girl.
Yeah.
So sometimes, my personality can be misunderstood, and I've realized that. So for me to answer all those questions, I feel like I was having an human experience, and I don't feel like there's anything wrong with being assertive at all.
You know what's funny? It's like as I thought about it during the season, I don't know, maybe it was during the reunion, and I reflected back on my time when I lived in LA. I had some of my friends labeled me as aggressive because I was kind of direct and to the point, and I felt like people in LA really aren't like that, right? So coming from DC, I was like, I mean, like, just say what you gotta say, like, come on with it. And even when I was being called aggressive, it never occurred to me that it was anything wrong with it. I was just like, okay, well, you need to step up then. But for women, I feel like it's a different thing.
Yeah, it gives us a label that is, it kind of puts us in a box of, versus it's like, okay, well, listen, she don't play no game. She about her business. She ain't gonna let nobody run over her. She gonna speak up for herself. And it's like, no, you're not supposed to do that. But you're supposed to do that. So it's like, which one is it?
You gave us some explosive moments over this past year. And I'm just going to go back to one of my favorites. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Your human moments, Destiny, have been, whether you like to really accept this or not, have been reality TV gold.
Okay. Listen, all right, I'll take that badge.
I mean, you might as well run with it at this point because
listen, it's so funny. I when I have my family talk to me about these things, they call me and they're like, they see when I'm like my spirit just shifts to a different person. Like they talk about that, like, oh, my aunt was like, I seen it in your eyes, and I was like, oh, hey, storm it back up now. I seen it in eyes. And then Madani, I was talking about this in another interview. I was like, at Madani, my cousin Demi that was there, she was like, her husband was like, what you mean you got your sneakers on? She called him. What you mean you got your sneakers on already? I don't know. Destiny got that look. So I'm just making sure. And then when he said he watched the episode, he was like, you weren't even there. You had checked out your whole body. You had left your body at Madani.
Let's talk about that. I'm glad you brought that up. Because
maybe I shouldn't have.
No. We have arrived. Okay, we have arrived, and we are here to talk about it.
Okay.
That day, I just want to go back for everybody that watched. We were all about to watch the episode that was slated to come on that night, and there y'all are filming down at Madani. Okay. Interrupting our whole afternoon. Okay, we can't focus on the episode because we focused on social media. But take me back to that day. What's going through your mind? Because I felt like, and I don't know if I said I could feel this through the screen when I watched the episode. Like there was an energy there that day, and I want you to tell me what you felt.
It was permeating, man. It was thick. It was thick all the way through there. It was just a lot. I mean, I felt like somebody was taking that little, what's that thing from Live Color, and just smacking me on top of the head with it. Here comes somebody. Here comes somebody else. Now, here comes another person. I'm like, God.
So, did you feel disrespected?
Oh, absolutely. Very much so. And I don't do well with disrespect.
And so, talk to me about disrespect on camera.
Ooh, Lord.
Because I think that there is a feeling of disrespect in real life, which maybe you can manage a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And then talk to me about feeling disrespect on camera in your establishment. And no, I said feeling because it is really about what you feel from a situation, right? What people do and how you feel, they can be two totally different things. But most important, I want to talk about how Destiny felt on film.
I felt very disrespected, and I felt out of control. Like I didn't know what was really going on or why at the time, and I wasn't really putting the pieces together until like the whole thing moved outside, and it was just like, why y'all here? What is going on? And I know people say, well, it's a show and you got to expect for people to show, but I'm like, well, that's the first time that's ever happened to me. And I just didn't understand it, because if I was moving in a certain way, reality or not, I'm not going to go into an establishment of someone that I had opposition with and I hadn't spoken to, like, and especially not coming in and not having a audible or even a little bit more of just a hello conversation to support that person. So for me, it was just a lot of layers of disrespect. And it was, I just felt like I could just explode, like for real. Like I felt like I could explode, and I was trying my best. I turned into a little girl. I was running to my daddy. I was like, well, I don't know that. I don't know what to do. I'm pacing back and forth like, oh, you can't hit nobody on camera. You can't do this. You got to get it together. And I'm like, and then I'm getting poked by Kimmy and Tisha, like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, what's wrong with y'all? What would y'all be doing if this was you? Like, what are you talking about? Why are y'all asking me these dumb questions? Like, why? So people are like, well, you knew it was TV. You should have been. So be fake.
That was going to be my question.
I don't have a poker face. I don't have it. It doesn't exist in my world.
Okay.
And so me not having a poker face, I don't really have poker emotions in certain situations. So had it been in my mind that this wasn't a corporate thing and we were working, I may have thought of it different.
So given that it was, I mean, because it was your event, did you know that this was maybe, and I unless I saw the production notes, I wouldn't know this, right? But did you have a feeling that it was going to be like an all cast event, or did you really have only the impression that it was specific invite only event?
Because it was made to be a public event, I didn't think about public event. Everybody's going to show up. I thought it was a public event for the public. Yeah. So for me, I thought that there was specific people.
Okay.
And listen, fool me once, fool me twice. You won't do that shit again. So now I know.
What you gonna do next time?
You see, listen, that vagueness. I don't know. We gotta see.
We ain't doing vague in 2023.
That's why I said I don't know. We gotta see. I can only tell you now that you won't get that same response.
Okay, because I was like, you said on the episode you was gonna be an open book.
How you open up wait this way?
We're gonna turn the page.
Okay.
Listen, let me ask you a question. This is, and we having a real conversation today. When Stormy gave you that Gucci bag, why didn't you take it? I would have took that bag and sold it. Okay. I mean, no shade. And I think I told her that too. I think I did. But in my mind, I was like, Destiny, what is wrong with you? You take this Gucci bag and you sell it to somebody else. Okay, get that money. If she want to give it away, fine. We Gucci.
Listen, I was like, after being publicly humiliated by somebody that gave, me something as a friend, in my mind, that's all that was playing in my head. Like, I don't want nobody to give me anything else. I'm not a charity case.
I got you. That stems from that situation.
PTSD.
Gotcha.
So I was standing there and I didn't realize my response to her was so long until I watched it back. It was like a long pause. And I was like, that was really awkward. But in my mind, that's what was playing. And I'm like, then I don't want to be like, I don't want this shit. That's what I was thinking. And so I was like, thank you. After everything played in my head. And then I lost the damn bag. Ain't that about it?
I'm mad at you for that.
I lost my whole luggage, by the way.
You can't even sell it.
Even though they said I did, but I didn't. I wish I would have. But
okay, make that money. This is gonna be random, but I feel like I want to ask it because I'm gonna go back to some other stuff anyway. You got a new boo. You said you lost your luggage. Well, did you lose your luggage going to visit your man?
I sure did.
Oh, something in my spirit said, "Oh, where'd she lose that luggage?"
Because listen, I told myself I ain't wearing that bag nowhere in Huntsville. If I'm gonna wear it, I'm gonna wear it somewhere else.
Wear it with Bay. That's right. I know that's right.
Nobody gonna see me with no bag. Somebody gave me a Huntsville. Then they lost it. Ain't that about nothing?
Oh, we lost Destiny.
You literally just spoke him up.
Okay, I did. Look at God. I've been doing that all.
Let him know I'm in the interview before I get in trouble. Hold on 1 second.
Just so you know, I'm gonna lead us in so the people know I'm spiritually connected.
Okay.
Okay, so how was New Bay? We can't call him New Bay no more because he's been Bay. How are y'all doing?
Good. Ben Bay is good. Ben Bay is great.
Okay.
My friends call him Mr. Wonderful.
Mr. Wonderful. Okay. Can we see Mr. Wonderful this season on the show? Did you post him on your Instagram?
I did.
I thought so. Now, can we see him on the reality TV streets?
Well, he said he would do it for me, so that would be a yes.
Well, look at God. All right then. So that clears that up. We can move right on along. Happy Mr. Wonderful to you. Listen, I wanted to ask you at the reunion, a lot happened, a lot went on. Did you and Kimmy had a little bit of a moment, which I felt like was probably more of a misunderstanding than a moment. How did you receive what she was saying to you?
Like everybody else, where the hell did that come from? What are we doing, sis? I'm about to get a pink slip. You just went to the damn. That's how I felt.
Okay. So when it comes to, Carlos mentioned, certain cast members, I guess maybe Letitia and Kimmy sort of wanting, I guess, maybe more from you. And then he also mentioned production wanting more from you. And you said that there are certain instances, and Tisha kind of backed you up here, that don't play. What are some things that maybe didn't play that you felt like would have given more, a better picture of your life that maybe fans would have been able to take and move forward with?
Without giving too much away, because I did speak with Carlos about a scene that he feels should be a part of my story going forward.
Okay.
So that one was a big one. It was a big one. It was very emotional. So that would be one. And then I feel like, I've said certain things and maybe I just didn't sit in them for long. But like when people say that I don't give enough and I don't tell anything about myself, like I've shared that, my mother is battling with drugs. I've shared that. I've shared, my father and I's relationship and him getting me from a foster home. I've shared being on public assistance and I'm supposed to be a celebrity and I'm telling this as real as it gets. And so I feel like I've shared, but I really think that because of not being able to talk specific about my divorce, that the story, it didn't really connect. And that's unfortunate, but listen, it's black and white at the same courthouse they be pulling everybody else's information up from in Huntsville. So, I mean, you can find it. It's in black and white.
But you know what? I gotta tell you, I'm like the casual viewer. I'm the casual viewer. I really am. Despite what I do, unless something is published, I don't really talk about it. You know what I'm saying? And by published, I mean across an entertainment news site or across a social media platform, or you mentioned it on the show or on a live. So it, public records and stuff like that. It's not for me, right?
No, not for you specific, but I know that there have been things that have been pulled up from other cast members to either refute or back up certain situations. Gotcha. And one of the things I hate the most is to be called a liar. Mm-hmm. And that is first of all very character damaging. And I just like, y'all can go get this information. Like nobody's making this up. So for me, it's a dangerous space to be in, to want to talk about what I experienced. Now I've learned how I can talk about it without the judge throwing me in jail or trying to take my baby from me because I'm in contempt of court, because it's that serious. Like people don't get that it's that serious. When you agree to something in black and white with the judge, you stick to it or you're going to be in trouble. Mm-hmm. So I've learned how I can share my journey that doesn't have to really be talking about anybody else. I didn't know how to do that prior to. I had no clue because I was just scared to talk about it.
I think that was a big part of the reason why people may have felt a little bit of a disconnect, because we didn't get, it was a big chunk. It's like reading the book of Destiny, and then there's chapters, 5 through 8 that are crucial, that are missing. And I know that's how I felt. So I can only imagine that maybe that's how the rest of the audience felt as well. But since we passed all of that, we're on chapter 20 now. We don't need to look back that way. I do want to talk about some things that you mentioned at the reunion. Because me and the audience are trying to understand this hacking situation. How does this hacking work? Lord, they didn't hack into the StreamYard.
No, that's my dad. Now my dad's calling.
Hey, Dad. How does the hacking work?
Say again?
How does this whole hacking thing with Melody and Martell work?
I don't know how it works. I don't do that. That's legal. I don't know nothing about that. All I know is that when you call him, that her voicemail came up. So
is that really true? That's a thing.
Ask Sheree.
Wait, did she call him and her and Melody?
That call that I was telling. I don't even know if the times are accurate, and I said this, but I was leaving her house driving back to Huntsville. So it was like checking on me to get back home. I was leaving her house. So before I was supposed to go to the polo match with them, and I missed it because I had the times messed up. I was there in Atlanta rehearsing for my play that I was in, Lipstick Monologues. And so I missed the polo match, and he was like, just come over to Shreya's house. And we were over playing cards, having a good time. And I brought my niece with me because I knew I was going to drive back. And so she was hanging out with us, and we, playing spades and doing what Black people do. And they were like, stay, it's late. I'm like, no, I got to get back. She want to get back. I got to get back. So, and I was like, what is going on with your phone? Why is your ex-wife on your voicemail? And he was like, man, I don't know. I said, every time I call you, it pops up. That's weird. And Sheree was right there. She said, yeah, I heard it too.
Wait, how was Sheree there? She heard it on his
when she was calling him, she heard the voice.
Oh, so she heard it too. That's what?
Mm-hmm.
How is Sheree? Do you like her?
I do like Sheree. She's super chill. Like, she's so laid back.
Oh, that's a real thing.
She's so laid back.
Wait, that's a real thing between the two of them?
I mean, I ain't up in their bedroom or nothing. I was just playing cards and, you know, going to house parties. I don't know what they doing.
Did it feel real?
This is no cameras. This is just friends hanging out. Like,
okay. I mean, listen, because that's not a scene that we've seen on TV, I'm not going to ask any more questions about it because that is y'all hangout time. So I respect that. But in terms of
you ain't gonna keep throwing me under the bus and trying to make it seem like I'm sleeping with somebody's ex-husband and somebody's current friend, man, or whatever they are. I don't like that. That is again another character damaging statement. You can't just lob that out there and just leave it.
Where do you think that came from?
Well, I mean, she said she had receipts, and that was, you know, omitted. She was like, I got the receipts to show it. Receipts, you know, I say receipts.
Oh, I
but I was like, well, what you mean when you hack this phone? Because how would you have receipts? How would you have that?
I'm still trying to figure out how am I calling Martell and then somebody else's voicemail pick? That is so weird to me. I'm stuck. Okay.
And another thing that was omitted was her and Marceau got into it because he was like, well, how did you even know? And she said, well, somebody called and the number I called back and I asked, who did you intend to call and what number was it? And he was like, that sounded like you was trying to, that sounded like more than you did all that to a stranger that called your phone. And I was just sitting there like, I said, sounds like an interrogation to me. The good stuff, you know, cutting room floor.
Wait, why was that not?
I don't know.
Can I ask you a question? How do y'all move on as a group together? Because it does feel a little bit disjointed. Like, not really disjointed. It kind of feels like there's... I like when y'all are all friends. I do. You know, with a little bit of... Sis, why you do that to me?
Fun shade.
Not
dark shade. We don't need to be,
I enjoy that because in the reality of it is it's even more, it's more enjoyable to watch, right?
Great.
To recap. But when we get to like, I don't know what to do with the phone hacking because I'm still trying to wrap my brain around it. So my question is, like, moving forward, how do you guys get back to that place?
I mean, I feel like everybody is good. Everybody is good. There's people that just want to be cordial in certain settings, and there's people that all hang out and do things together and do business together. So I feel like majority of the collective, we're good. We're Gucci.
Who do you talk to the most? Like, just, I mean, this doesn't mean that you're the closest to them, but like, who do you keep in contact with like the most?
The most. I mean, I talk to everybody, literally. The most. Tisha was definitely a strong first, but Stormy and I talk a lot now.
You know what? That to go from where y'all came from to be at this place,
throwing chairs to
it is really, really nice, and I'm mad they
kids
took out
having birthday parties.
I'm mad that they took out the throwing of the chair. I'm mad about that. Let's talk about real quick. I want to get back to Madani. Like, what are your plans for Madani moving forward? We know that again, you have the candle Reignite. We have the meaning
comes
for
in black.
that. It comes in black as well. Okay, perfect. What do you have coming up, and then what can we expect to see in this new season?
What I have coming up and what you can expect in this new season of my life is just a lot of, and I'm glad y'all got a chance to see a real entrepreneur ups and downs, because a lot of times you only get to see the popcorn effect of, hey, we made it, but
Right.
It's ups and downs as an entrepreneur. So that's as real as it could get. So with Madani, I'm reigniting my flame, like I said, and focusing on, I really, really, really am focusing on getting back to what I really love and like my roots of beauty and sales and things like that, because that's what I did in my corporate job. I've always been in real estate, some form of fashion. And so I'm back in real estate. I'm working with a builder now. I have my license at Scott Realty now. So Tisha started her own brokerage. And so,
Wow. That
and,
she did say that. That's right. She told me that.
and so, and people need to know that don't make her my boss. That just makes her whole license. So, need to know that. Like,
No, but you know what it does?
me.
It does add another element and layer to the group and the collective. And we would love, I think that would be great to see on film. And what else? What else you got?
So my cousin and I, Demi, that you saw, she's been in beauty for 20 plus years, makeup, cosmetics, all kind of, hair products and things. So her and I are doing a lip gloss line. And I did actually find a song that I really, really like now. So I have to carve out some time to go and record it.
Okay.
I'm back acting. I just did a play. So I'm back into acting as well.
That's what you were in Atlanta for, right?
Lipstick monologues. That was fun. It was like, oh, I got to get these training wheels off. Oh man, I'm gonna get back on this bike. A little rusty. Okay. But yeah, it was fun. You know, it was really, really fun. I was challenged by the director and the writer to get, to really get more depth. Because I was like, I want to talk about some pain or something, because that's what I feel. But they had me in more of a comical role. So that was fun. Though. People don't realize comedy is actually a lot harder than
true.
Drama. And that's a lot harder. So, but I did my thing. So I had a good time doing that, and that's what I'm working on. And being a mommy, I'm the president of the Parents Council now that law's in school. So I'm wearing a lot of hats, and I'm enjoying it. I feel in a really good space in life.
I think that is probably one of the most important things that you just said, was that you were enjoying it. I think that's I can't even tell you how increasingly important that's become to me, is to enjoy the things that I'm doing. And thank you for making this interview enjoyable. It definitely was.
Well, I'm in a space. When I'm in this space, I'm in the creative space. So I like being here because I am naturally a creator, a creative personality, which I think is why me and Stormy are rock, because we're very assertive women, but we also are like, super like into like, crystals and things like that. People don't know that about me because they don't get to see my Zen side. They only see my, Nook if you buck side. But we enjoy those type of things and those type of conversations. And Tisha and I enjoy talking about mommyhood and business. So I'm just in a good place.
Well, we like to hear that. Tell the people where they can find you before we head out.
You can find me at The Destiny Payton on IG, on TikTok, even though I need to learn how to work TikTok. And you can also find me there on Twitter. I think Twitter is just Destiny Payton. And you can also shop with me at www.madonibeauty.com. And yeah.
All right. And before we go, I just got to give a shout out to this thing one more time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's what's up.
Skye Squad, we will catch you in the next video. Destiny, thank you so much.
Thank you, Richie. I enjoyed it.